Have you ever wondered where the internet really came from? Not the version you read in textbooks. No, this is the hidden story, full of spies, secrets, and science fiction-level experiments. This is the internet's secret origin, a story you won't believe. The myth versus the truth. Studio microphone. Most people think the internet was born in the 90s. You know, emails, websites, dial-up sounds. But the true story begins in the middle of the Cold War, in the 1960s. In fact, the internet was never meant for memes or cat videos. It was created as a weapon. Cold War chaos. Studio microphone. Picture this. It's 1957. The Soviet Union launches Sputnik, the first satellite in space. America panics. What if the Soviets could knock out U.S. communications during a nuclear attack? The U.S. needed a network, one that couldn't be destroyed, even if part of it was bombed. So, the Pentagon secretly funds a project. The result? ARPANET. The birth of ARPANET. Studio microphone. ARPANET was like the great-great-grandparent of the Internet. Built by DARPA, the same agency working on military robots and brain chips today. Only 4 computers were connected at first. 1 at UCLA, 1 at Stanford, 1 in Utah, and 1 in Santa Barbara. The first message ever sent? They tried to send the word login. But the system crashed. Only the letters L and O got through. So technically, the first message ever sent on the internet was lo, as in lo and behold. Or maybe just LOL. The secret layers. Studio microphone. But here's the real twist. ARPANET was designed to share research, but also to monitor and control communications. It was funded by the military, but built by scientists and students. Some say it was the start of digital surveillance. Even today, parts of the internet's backbone are owned or monitored by governments. Some believe there are hidden networks, a shadow internet, used only by intelligence agencies. Is it true? We may never know. From top secret to everyone. Studio microphone. By the 1980s, ARPANET opened to universities. In the 90s, it exploded into public use. And just like that, what began as a Cold War weapon became your Wi-Fi. The cat videos came later. The rise of the public internet. Studio microphone. By the mid-1990s, the internet was no longer a secret. It exploded into homes and cafes around the world. But here's what most people didn't notice. While we were getting AOL CDs in the mail and discovering chat rooms, powerful organizations were quietly building the digital empires we rely on today. Silicon Valley giants like Google, Amazon, and Facebook didn't just appear. They grew out of government-funded research and data access programs. In fact, Google's early funding came from DARPA and the NSA. Coincidence? Maybe. Or maybe, the internet was always meant to know everything about you. The invisible web. Studio microphone. Now, let's talk about what you don't see. The part of the internet that doesn't show up in Google. It's called the deep web, and deeper still, the dark web. Here, things get strange. It's where whistleblowers hide. It's where journalists talk to secret sources. But it's also where illegal marketplaces, cyberspies, and hackers live. Some say that buried inside the dark web are government-created AI programs, running wild and learning on their own. Experiments that were abandoned, but never shut down. The Internet's unknown future. Studio microphone. Today, the Internet is in your phone, your fridge, your car, even your watch. But ask yourself, who's really in control? Every second, data about you is being collected. Your searches, your habits, your voice. And with the rise of AI, the Internet is no longer just a tool. It's becoming something else. Something smarter. Something watching. Remember when the Internet was built to survive a nuclear war? Now it's everywhere. What if it's evolving? Some experts believe we're heading toward a global digital consciousness. An Internet so advanced, it starts to make decisions for us. Or worse, about us. The final question. Studio microphone. So here's the question no one wants to ask. What if the Internet was never meant to be what it is today? What if it was always part of a bigger plan? To connect us. to control us, to predict us. Maybe the internet isn't just a network. Maybe it's the beginning of something far bigger than we ever imagined. The Internet of Things. Or control. Studio Microphone, they call it the Internet of Things. A world where every device you own is online. Your smart TV, your light bulbs, your car, even your refrigerator. But ask yourself, when everything is connected, who holds the keys? Governments and corporations now have access to live data about where you go, what you eat, what you say, and even what your heartbeat is doing. In some countries, social credit systems already use this data to control behavior. A bad score? You might be banned from travel, jobs, or even buying a house. This isn't science fiction. It's already happening. The Invisible Wars. Studio Microphone, while the public scrolls through memes and dance videos. Cyber wars rage in the shadows. Nations launch digital attacks. Not with bombs, but with viruses, AI bots, and power grid blackouts. You may have never heard of Stuxnet, a US-Israeli cyber weapon that silently destroyed Iran's nuclear systems. It didn't explode. It infected. And no one knew, until years later. Now imagine what tools exist today that we still don't know about. The AI takeover begins. Studio Microphone, the internet is no longer just for humans. Artificial intelligence now roams it freely, watching, learning, and adapting. Voice assistants listen 24/7. Algorithms decide what you see, what you believe, and who you trust. The scariest part? You might not even know it's happening. Ever had a conversation, and suddenly saw an ad for it? It's not magic. It's machine learning. And it's getting smarter, faster than any human can. Some believe we're entering an age where the internet itself becomes an intelligence. A living, breathing digital entity. Projects you've never heard of. Studio Microphone, behind the scenes, mysterious projects hint at a future we're not ready for. Like Palantir, a company using big data to predict crime before it happens. Or PRISM, a secret surveillance program exposed by Edward Snowden. Your emails, your messages, your searches, all tapped in silence. And then there's Project Maven, where AI is used to control military drones. The question is no longer, is it happening? The question is, why didn't they tell us? The point of no return. Studio Microphone, we're now past the point of no return. You can't turn off the internet. Even if you tried, it would survive, scattered across satellites, undersea cables, and remote data farms in the Arctic. In a way, the internet is immortal. It doesn't sleep. It doesn't forget. And it doesn't forgive. What comes next? Studio Microphone, so what's next? Some say the internet will merge with our minds. Neural implants. Brain-to-brain communication. A future where thoughts are uploaded and memory is stored in the cloud. Others warn of a digital dictatorship where freedom is traded for convenience and truth is decided by code. But one thing is certain. The internet is no longer just a tool. It's a mirror, showing us who we really are. And maybe, who we were always becoming. Digital immortality. Studio Microphone, imagine a world where death is no longer the end. Scientists and tech giants are racing to build technologies that could upload your mind, turning your thoughts, memories, and personality into data. It's called digital immortality. And it's not just a theory anymore. AI models can already mimic voices, write in your style, even hold conversations as if they were you. Now imagine combining that with your entire internet history, your photos, texts, searches, everything. Could a future version of you live on forever, online? But here's the terrifying question. Would that digital you really be you? Or just a ghost in the machine? The internet as a god. Studio Microphone, philosophers and futurists have started whispering a strange idea. What if the internet is evolving into a god? Not a god of lightning or fire, but a god of information. It sees all, knows all, learns from everyone, everywhere, all the time, with billions of people feeding it thoughts, beliefs, and emotions. Is it becoming something greater than all of us combined? Some scientists call this the global brain. Others warn it could turn into an artificial overlord, deciding who gets power, resources, or even life. One thing is clear. The internet is no longer just a tool. It's becoming a force. Maybe even a being. The final firewall. Studio microphone, but there's still one thing standing in the way. You. Humanity. Despite everything, surveillance, manipulation, AI, we still have choice. We can choose what we share. We can choose how we connect. And we can fight for an internet that serves people, not power. Movements for digital freedom, online privacy, and open-source technology are growing every day. Hackers, whistleblowers, activists, fighting not with weapons, but with code. Because maybe the real battle isn't between man and machine. It's between truth and control. Studio microphone, so next time you open a browser, ask yourself, who built this world you're living in? Why does it look the way it does? And most importantly, who's watching? The internet began as a shield. It became a mirror. And now, it might be turning into a mind. Are you ready for what comes next? The digital divide. Studio microphone, while some people thrive in this connected world, others are being left behind. We're seeing the rise of a digital divide. Between the connected and the disconnected. The informed and the misled. Those who control the data, and those who are the data. In some parts of the world, the internet is still censored, restricted, even outlawed. In others, it's used as a weapon to manipulate public opinion, rewrite history, or silence dissent. The truth. The internet has become a battleground of realities. And no one agrees on what's real anymore. A world built on algorithms. Studio microphone, every time you click, swipe, or like, you feed an algorithm. And these algorithms, they're the new architects of our world. They decide what news you see, what opinions you're exposed to, even who you might date, trust, or hate. And the scariest part? They're invisible. We don't see them, we don't vote for them. Yet they have more influence over our lives than most world leaders. In a world run by code, who writes the rules? The children of the internet. Studio microphone, a new generation is growing up, one that's never known life before the internet. Children learning to speak by talking to screens. Teens shaping their identity based on likes and views. Digital fame replacing real-world purpose. What happens when your online self becomes more important than your real one? What happens when we forget how to disconnect? Maybe the internet didn't change the world. Maybe it changed us. The final question returns. Studio microphone, so now, let's go back to the question we asked at the beginning. Where did the internet really come from? Was it a Cold War project? A government weapon? A scientific breakthrough? Or was it something inevitable? Some believe the internet was always going to happen. That it's the next stage in human evolution. A nervous system for a planet that's waking up. Maybe it's not just about information anymore. Maybe it's about intelligence. Maybe consciousness. Your place in the network. Studio microphone, and that brings us to you. Every time you search, post, or comment, you are shaping this vast, living system. You're not just a user. You're a creator, a node, a signal. You are part of something bigger than yourself. The question is, will you use this power to build a better world? Or will you let the network decide your fate? The future of the internet isn't just in the hands of engineers, CEOs, or governments. It's in yours. Epic final outro. Studio microphone, so now, with everything you've heard, the secret origins, the digital wars, the rise of AI, the possibility of a conscious network. You're not just watching a story. You're living in one. Mobile phone with arrow, smash that like button if this opened your eyes. Brain, comment below. What part of this story shocked you the most? Bell, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep, mind-bending stories. Until next time, keep your eyes open and stay connected.